So today I thought I would do 17 things I've learned by 17. So let's get to it. The first thing is it's okay to let go of something uncertain of the future. I feel like a lot of us are like, oh, well, this, like, we hold on to things because we're like, this is the certain thing, but then we know that, like, if you hold on to things that, like, aren't meant to be, then they're not, and then you're just wasting your time. The next thing is that your problems are not the end of the world. I know a lot of us can be like, oh my gosh, like, anything, like, you can just let it get to you and be too much. And even things that are a big deal and that are, like, sad and upsetting aren't the biggest deal, you know what I mean? This next thing is very important. Number 3, friends are who are important right now. And if you're going to get through high school, you need some good ones. I have a lot of good friends I used to not. And if it wasn't for them, I'd be lonely and stressed and all these things. So friends are imperative. Good friends who, are just awesome. It's okay to let go of people who don't treat you like a priority. I found that there's sometimes in life, and sometimes it's just circumstance where people don't have time, but people don't treat you like a priority or like you're important, and it's okay to be upset about that and then realize if they don't treat me like a priority, then I can, be with people who do treat me like a priority and I treat them like a priority, you know what I mean? So for you to treat someone like a priority and they never treat you like a priority, that is, like, not good, and that's something that's really hard to balance. It's okay to be brave and try something and decide it's not for you. There's some things that I've done and that I've, like, looked back on, nothing, like, bad, just, like, stuff like roller coasters and, like, stuff like that, like, where, like, I tried it, but it's not for me, like, so it's okay, like, I tried roller coasters, decided I didn't like roller coasters, and that's okay. The next thing I think is really important, and it's you have to find your own dream, not live in someone else's. I think we all can kind of live in the sphere of what others expect from us and how much they believe in us. So, like, if someone wants us to do something, we feel like we should do it, which isn't necessarily true. You know what I mean? So, number 7 is it's okay to not have everything figured out. I feel like a lot, especially girls, we're planners. We're like, okay, I have my year-long planner and my 10-year-long planner, and in 5 years I want to be this and that, and I want this major, or maybe this major, and then this college, and we're just always, like, planning things, and really, you make plans, but then, like, really, you barely see a week in the future, and then it's like, so it's okay to not have it figured out and to make plans, and then the plans don't work out that way. Number 8, it's okay, like, if you don't feel peace in something and you feel like it's wrong, to move on. Some people are like, a lot of people, when they, like, you just have this gut feeling or you just don't feel peace, and there's not necessarily a reason, and people won't take that as a reason, but it is a reason, because you have this natural intuition inside of you, and this natural, like, understanding of, like, just, like, this natural understanding of, like, what belongs and what doesn't, and when something is working and when it's not. So if you don't have peace, then it's okay to, like, move on. Like, that's a reason. Just because someone else, this is number 9, just because someone else is beautiful and talented doesn't mean that you aren't. I feel like that's something, like, as girls, again, we struggle with, is that, like, oh, she's so beautiful and talented, I could never be as beautiful and talented, or whatever. And so you automatically disqualify yourself. But just because someone else is beautiful and talented doesn't mean you're any less. So, yes. Another thing is boys are, especially in high school, they don't always make the best decisions, and they will break people's hearts, and sometimes they do it on purpose, but a lot of us just have no clue what we're doing, really. And so, like, yeah. So sometimes it's on purpose, but sometimes they're just clueless, you know what I mean? And then kind of going off of that, number 11 is like, you're stronger than you think you are, and you can like get through stuff like that. Number 12, it's okay to not be okay. I feel like especially people have kind of like gotten out of this, but it used to be that you had to be like perfect and like all these different things that like admitting weakness was like not okay, but it is like that's the strength to do that, to be able to do that. This number 13 is it's okay to be who you are without fearing that you are offensive. I feel like sometimes people worry that if they were to be like who they really were and say what they really thought, people would be like up in arms. And it doesn't even like, it's one of those things where you can't win for losing. Like no matter what you think, no matter what you do, there's always going to be somebody that thinks something else or does something else. So you might as well be what you believe and what you do. Because then if you were that other thing, then the people that you know, they would be upset. You know, so it's like, no matter what you do, you never win with that. So you might as well just be who you are. If you are not fulfilled, it's okay to walk away. This kind of goes back to like the not having peace, but like if you feel like you're wasting time and you feel like, oh, this isn't for me, it's okay to like say bye. Even if life in reality isn't what you'd hope for, it can still be wonderful. I feel like we all have this ideal life, or like I said, like girls' plan, we have this life plan, and like, oh, we're supposed to meet the love of our life at 15 and marry them and blah, blah, blah. And that it doesn't always work out that way. And we have like how we think things should be, and it doesn't always happen that way. So it's important to recognize that your dreams are not the reality, but reality can be wonderful. And sometimes, most of the time, some people might not believe this, but it can be even more wonderful than your dreams, which is crazy to think because you thought your dreams were so wonderful, but your dreams are dreams and they're not real. You know what I mean? So, like, yeah. Number 16 is it's okay to be fearful. Like, it's okay to, like, have those feelings. Like, nobody maybe some people, but personally, I don't choose to be afraid. It just happens. And so it's like, it's okay to be like afraid of something. Like, especially if it's something bad, like you're giving your emotions for a reason. Like if like someone makes you super uncomfortable and you're super afraid, it's okay. And also, even like things that are, say like good that you're afraid of, it's okay to be afraid because it means that like that's important. You know what I mean? So like not being afraid would be even more of a, I'd be like, why aren't you afraid? Do you not care? You know what I mean? And another thing, the last thing, number 17, is it's okay to be fearless. People are like, what? You just said it's okay to be fearful, but then you said it's okay to be fearless. I think there's a time for everything. I think that it can come to a point in life where you've been so fearful for so long about things, and you just finally hit this point, and then you're like, I'm done. Like, I'm not going to be fearful anymore. And then you're fearless, which is good. Like, there's like different times for things, and there's times for like being scared, like maybe where you should be scared, and then you're like, I'm done with that, so now I'm not scared anymore. And yeah, so I think both of those have times where they fit. Okay, so I don't know if any of this made sense, but thank you for watching. I don't know if I mentioned, but it is storming outside, so if you hear thunder and lightning, and that's also why it's so dark, if you hear thunder and lightning, that's because it's thunder and lightning. Okay, thank you for watching. Bye!